All right, today we got another one-day easy fall decoration build. We've got this pumpkin on a black background framed out in some red oak. We used a couple of the jigs that we built over the last couple weeks to make this guy. And this orange really pops off this black background. Now there's a couple different ways you can make this pumpkin. You could cut it out using a scroll saw, a jigsaw, or a CNC. Today we're gonna use the CNC, or as I'm looking at it, you can also 3D print this pumpkin in orange filament and glue on there. That would actually be pretty cool. We had some scrap oak wood left over, as well as this backer board that we use. So today's project is a scrap wood project. So for me, it was free. For you, enjoy. All right, the first thing that we're gonna do, we're gonna take this coated piece of MDF. We're gonna cut it 8 by 8 on all 4 sides because it does have a bevel on it, so we want that flush or flat. We've got this piece of red oak that we're gonna cut down. We're gonna create a channel for the MDF to sit into, and then we'll put that on the picture frame jig to get perfect miters. We'll get all that glued and assembled. Then we'll head to the CNC, we'll cut out our pumpkin, and we'll start painting. Let's go! To cut our backer board, we are going to use the miter sled that we built. If you haven't built one of these, please check out my how-to video. This thing makes fast and repeatable cuts. Okay, next we need to cut out the channel for the backer board. To do this, we'll raise the table saw blade to 1/4 inch. The backer board is 1/4 inch thick. The table saw blade is 1/8 inch thick. So we will take 2 and a hair pass on the table saw. To make perfect miters, we're going to use our picture frame jig. This will give us some tight miters all the way around. Okay, now that we've got our back panel cut out, we've got all 4 sides of our frame. They're all the same length because we're gonna do a square with this one. So if you can tell on camera, but they're all the same. So we'll go ahead and do a test fit real quick. We do know that it slides in the channel perfectly. Right. Cool. All right. So we know it's going to work really well. Now we can go ahead and glue this assembly complete. We're going to use the tape and glue method. So basically I'm going to roll tape over the edges at the same time while gluing the panel in, right? Okay. Okay, now I've got my tape out. I'm going to use this to tape the corners, and that way it'll fold over on itself. So we're going to line these up. And one thing that made it super convenient with this red oak is it's got a little bit of interesting grain pattern on one side versus the other. So as far as lining it up to make sure that that channel is exactly even, this is gonna help with that. Okay. All right, now typically I would just glue the joints and fold it in, but in this situation, I'm actually gonna glue the panel in place because I do want the whole thing rock solid. I'm not gonna add any additional supports on the joints, no miters or dowels or anything. This is just gonna be a decoration that sits on your desk or a shelf somewhere. So we just want it to be nice and straight from the get-go. All right, let's glue it together. Now, typically what I like to do is fold the tape over, and that just keeps all the glue on the inside. Although I've got this nice workbench top, so I'm not too worried about that, but there you go. And in essence, there's gonna be our display. So we'll let that sit up and cure. All right, now that we've got that glued up, we can head to the CNC. We'll cut our pumpkin out. Once that's done, it's time to start painting. And now time for some pumpkin carving ASMR. I too get mesmerized watching a CNC cut out objects. Feel free to skip ahead to 720 for the next step. Now that we have our pumpkin cut, we can paint it bright orange. All right, now that the glue has dried, we can go ahead and take our tape off. We'll take a look how everything looks so far. Check our miters. We're gonna have to do a little bit of sanding, but that's okay. All right, looks pretty good so far. Looks like we're gonna use this side. This side has a little knot on it. So this will be the front of our display. I'll go ahead and sand it smooth now. We'll get everything flush. I'll clean up this one miter. All the other miters look tight. And then we will prep it for paint and move right along. Let's go. All right, now we've got it all sanded. It's time to prep for paint. So initially I was gonna paint the whole thing black, but I think what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna paint the inside black, which yes, I should have done that before I put it together, but I thought I was gonna paint it all black. So we'll do the inside black, and then I'm just gonna put some finish on the red oak. It does look really cool. There's some pretty cool grain patterns right here. I just like the way it would look. So let's go ahead and knock that out real quick. All right, now we got our backer painted black. So I didn't show that, but painted it black off camera. We can go ahead and attach our pumpkin. So to attach this, I'm just gonna use a little bit of CA glue and some activator. I'm just gonna use the eye. I'm just gonna kind of put it in the middle the best I see fit. Once we get that attached, we can go ahead and put a finish on the frame, and then we'll be done. So I'm using a CA medium, and this should be, in theory, strong enough to hold this, especially after we put some activator on it. So I'm just gonna do dobs. I'm not gonna do like a whole line, because I have a feeling I would make a mess. There's several areas that are skinnier than others, and that makes it difficult. So if I got a cross section, I'm gonna go ahead and put a big dab. I said daub earlier, but it's dab. Dab of glue. It's pretty good. Cool. Get this bottom. Okay, there we go. All right, we've got that on. Hit it with some activator. And now the glue should be dry. There we go. We've got the pumpkin glued on. So we'll let that go ahead and set for a few minutes, and then we'll get the finish on. Okay, now that the glue is dried on the pumpkin, we can go ahead and apply the finish. I'm just gonna apply some tongue oil. I'm gonna start with the back. I'll work my way to the front. And yes, I am using a bright orange microfiber towel because why not? It's fall. All right, and just like that, we're all done. We've got everything glued, painted together. We've got the finish on it. This thing looks pretty cool. I'm actually glad I didn't paint the frame. I think it's got a really good contrast on that oak, that red oak and the black background. And of course, that orange pops. Yes, it is 3D, but it really feels like it comes out of the frame. I've got a place already on a bookshelf for this guy. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this quick and easy video. Hopefully you guys can make something similar. Hopefully you go to one of those stores that have decor and build something yourself. Until next time,